Well, it's 7 o'clock, so we can go ahead and get started. I am going to call to order the regular meeting, and first I want to know if there are any requests to remove items from the consent agenda for discussion.
Nothing for me.
Nothing.
7A.
7A, okay, let's put that down.
And to clarify, if it's like 8, then that's under other, correct? We discuss under other.
No, we'll discuss it
8
under.
is part of the consent agenda, so is that, do you want to?
Or is that under the
Wait.
regular?
You're saying 7A?
7A and then also under 8.
Okay.
Something.
Is it the endowment memo?
Yes.
Yeah, we can talk about both of those things under
Okay.
the consent agenda
Yeah.
discussion.
Okay, well, then can I have a motion to approve the order of items?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well, I have a little verbal report tonight, and I'm going to read some remarks here. I want to mention that in the State of American Libraries report for 2024, ALA President Emily Drabinski said, "These are not ordinary times. The unprecedented wave of organized censorship intensifies, particularly in our public libraries. Adverse legislation that would undermine library agency and authority is getting a hearing in legislatures across the country. Climate change continues to impact libraries, damaging buildings in some areas, and turning libraries into recovery centers in others. Sometimes it's both things. Phone charging centers. Budget cuts and staffing challenges undermine our ability to fulfill our missions. In these extraordinary times, libraries take action." And libraries take action has become the theme of the work that the ALA is currently doing to combat these issues. I was telling Tara that last night I spent some time with Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, and I was discussing with him the ongoing fight for intellectual freedom, for which he pledged his ongoing support, which we all appreciate. We are very lucky to have such a supportive community here in Bloomfield Township, and we are all even more lucky to have such a wonderful staff here at our library. Earlier this month during Staff Development Day, we honored staff that were celebrating special work anniversaries. And I wanted to highlight the fact that we had 5 people celebrating 5 years, 4 celebrating 10 years, 2 celebrating 15 years, 4 celebrating 20 years, and Paul Dwyer celebrated 30 years here at our library. And that kind of longevity is such a testament to the community that has been built up inside these walls. And we are so lucky to have the incredible staff that we have, and this board is so committed to supporting that staff, and it feels great to be surrounded by people who have this
Absolutely.
the same mission and this recognize the importance of the staff and the magic that they make every day. So
Yes.
I wanted to mention that, because when I saw some of those numbers of years that people have spent serving here, I feel very proud.
Sure.
I feel very proud. So
No one could have said it better than you just said. So
Yeah.
thank you.
well, I never spent that long at one job. I never spent that long in one career. So it's very impressive. And so yeah, we've been talking about the theme of our 60th anniversary being applause, and this is something, yet another thing for us to applaud. So I just wanted to mention those things, and I will turn it over to Tara for the director's verbal report.
Well, my report seems very pedantic now. Bunch of updates.
So never follow the child, animal, or dating.
Right, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
All right, well, once again, the library is very pleased to be a venue for the Great Lakes Chamber Music Festival. We are hosting 5 events in the month of June, and we've already hosted one that happened at the end of April. That was an event for families. The events range from concerts to something called Artistic Encounters, which is a look at public coaching sessions that kind of give you a behind the scenes look on what it means to be a professional musician. So we're very pleased to host these. The Great Lakes Chamber Music Festival is a great organization to work with. Catherine has been working with them. They love having their events here because they're so well attended and so accessible. And I know that our patrons and residents love this kind of programming as well. So it's a great partnership. We also hosted the AARP Tax Aid Tax Preparers this year. They processed 39 tax returns over the 2 days that they were here at the library. They saved taxpayers over $11,000 in fees through their preparation.
Did they think 39 was a good number?
I think so.
Okay.
Over
Yeah,
2
for
days,
2
it
days.
seems
It's a
like,
lot.
yeah.
Okay.
The median age of the taxpayers using the service is 70.4 years old. And 89% of the participants were over the age of 60. So a group of people who needed that service, and we were able to make that happen. And we're talking to AARP about increasing the number of sessions held next year. So I'm pleased that we have the space to do that. You may have noticed, maybe before today even, the stakes that are on the corner of Lone Pine and Timberlake. Those surveying stakes denote where the detention basin will be constructed. You know that that's gonna happen later in this year, in the summer. That is there to give all of us an idea of the scope and scale of it, which is pretty big. Joe Christopher said he's working on creating a graphic rendering of it as well to further help our understanding. And Judy and I met with Jim Slazinski and kind of talked a little bit about the project, and Jim is on board to assist us with this. In fact, he said he loves a challenge. So I'm confident that between Judy and Jim, it will look as good as it possibly can.
Thank you. While serving an incredible purpose.
While
Yes.
serving an incredible purpose, which I was kind of thinking like, God, the library hasn't flooded in like a year and a half and we're digging a ditch in our front yard. But we did have a flood on May 7th, which was a
gosh.
Tuesday. It was one of those random thunderstorms.
Just right over us.
Honest to God, every time it rains, I look up at the sky and I think,
Welcome to the library
Yeah.
board. I know last night it rained really hard.
yes.
And,
But it was coming down straight, I noticed. I didn't see it coming sideways. Isn't that when the
It's-
issue?
it was
kind of
usually
showed?
volume.
The thunder
over
was
time.
on forever because they
Yeah,
had
right,
blown
pretty
the
crazy.
at Oakland Hills, because it's close to my house, and they blew it. And I was in the pool and I thought, okay, I'll just wait. And all I heard was thunder, and then all of a sudden and I'm like, okay, I guess I better get out now. But yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. So we do need it.
Yes, it is necessary.
Yes. So we do have a building and grounds committee meeting on June 13th, so I hope to have some more information at that time and have Joe come out and talk to us. Speaking of other building things, the roof repair, which remember I said that Chris was working on getting some quotes, and then a curveball was thrown when a new Sika representative came onto the scene. Sika is the manufacturer of the rubber membrane that is on the roof and that is the problem that we're trying to fix. And you probably recall that when Chris first started investigating this problem, that Sika and CEI, which was the installer, were just kind of like pointing fingers at each other.
Their fault.
Yeah, and Sika fell out of the conversation. Well, a new rep got that job and has reached out to Chris to say, hey, let's talk about this. What can we do? So Sika has provided detail for a technical solution that's acceptable to meet the terms of the warranty, which is essentially the solution that we already came up with which is to extend that membrane over that metal gravel stop around the perimeter. Sika has indicated that they will provide the materials at no cost. And they also,
Very nice.
yeah, and then we would be back under warranty and no leaks, hopefully.
I wonder what the change of heart was. It wasn't the new person.
Just a new person.
He or she decided that they have the.
According to Chris, that's all it took was this new person to say,
Seems
Hey, what's going on?
But
Yeah. Sus?
sus.
Nice.
Wasn't there a test this winter?
Tell them that's
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
You nailed it.
Thank you.
Yes, this winter we, in November, we had laborers go around the perimeter and reattach. And then we were testing out these areas of reinforcement.
Right.
I think whatever we do next would be that reinforcement, and Sika would assist in some way.
The only thing I can think of is that we addressed the problem, I think only about a week after the warranty had expired. So maybe they have decided, because the first
It
time
could
that,
be.
the first time that we had addressed it, it wasn't as if we ignored it and we're just talking about it now. It's been going on for well over a year. So, well, good.
Mhm.
That's good news.
Yeah.
And quite a savings.
Yeah. So I hope to have, again, more details at the June 13th meeting. And then my hope is that we'll have something to vote on to approve at the June board meeting.
Great.
Do we know what sort of a reduction there would be? Do we know what portion was
No.
taken up by that?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't look a gift horse. That's right. Okay.
All right, the last thing I want to
That's incredible.
share is about the Dewey Decimal Classification System. We're getting into some nitty-gritty library stuff here now.
You know.
I do. OCLC.
What's that?
Well, if any of you ever do a deep dive into Dewey, you may have noticed that it's incredibly biased in a lot of really problematic ways. It's heavily Euro-Western centric, especially in the area of the 200s, which is books on religion. From 220 to 290 is all about Christianity, and then 290 is other religions. And it has just been like this forever. There are a lot of other problematic areas of Dewey, but this is probably the most egregious part of it. Well, Laura Crayley went to the Public Library Association conference a few weeks ago and attended a session on an optional arrangement of Dewey, which I guess was originated by the editor of the Dewey Decimal Classification System, which is owned by OCLC, which is where Joy works.
What does it mean, OCLC?
Online.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
It actually means nothing now, but it
Oh.
used to mean Ohio Computer Library Consortium.
Okay.
Something like that.
Sorry,
Now
I
it's
just-
just OCLC.
Okay.
Anyway, she obtained information about this optional arrangement, which I have some PowerPoint slides which I can share. I'm not gonna get into the nitty-gritty of it, but it just makes it much more equitable because there are more religions in the world than just Christianity. And I think it's a really good thing. And she has led the charge to bring that optional arrangement to this library. We're very lucky, we have a robust materials services department with catalogers who know what they're doing. We have a lot of staff that can reprocess, because this is gonna be a big project to re-sticker all those books and recatalog them. But I'm excited that we can be a leader in this area and maybe inspire others to do the same.
And in some respects, it's the tip of the iceberg because
Oh, yeah.
a lot is going on
Sure.
around organization and cataloging to change subject headings to be more appropriate
Yeah.
and more inclusive and so yeah.
Good. But I think that we also have to reflect that the Dewey Decimal System, when it first started, was groundbreaking, so, and
I
we
mean, this
continue
is-
with that service, but yes, adding more, and they should have, on their own, probably come to that
Right.
and thought about that more than having libraries say, hey, you need to do something about this, so.
Times have changed,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely, and it's gonna change, in 10 years, we're probably gonna look at it again
Big
and say,
changes.
okay, we have to do something.
Library
So-
of Congress is doing a lot around subject headings as
Mhm.
well, so there's a lot of people that have been looking at it for
Sure.
a long time,
Sure.
but it kind of takes a lot to move a mountain.
Well, Danny was asking me why this has never been done yet, and I had the slides from the session that Laura attended, and the number one reason is inertia.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it just takes a lot to.
Pushing the
Yeah.
boulder up the hill.
You just keep putting it lower in your to-do list.
You're
because
right,
other
because
things
fires, yeah.
Yeah, you have
Flooding.
floods, yeah.
That's my
That's
report.
exciting.
Thank you.
yeah, these are good changes towards inclusion.
Hence the
and
reason
equity.
we send people to conferences.
Exactly.
That's right. It is, you're
Tie it
absolutely
all
right.
together, yep. Thank you, Joya.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that report. And so now, can I have a motion to approve the remaining consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well, now it is time for us to open it up for public comment. And we have some visitors. Do you want to, this is your opportunity.
I just came because I have like a school opportunity thing where I like observe government experience, so I came to observe this.
Great, well,
Well,
welcome.
Thank you.
There are copies of the agenda over there if you're interested, if you want to take that back with you.
Great.
And, you know, feel free to ask questions.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, I think they're on the chair right there next to you. Yeah, and then you just need to sign in right at that booklet.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Other?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Just, do we have any other public comment?
Okay.
No, thank you, welcome. But we do have Drew, star of the library podcast. One quarter of
Among other
the
things.
library podcast.
You're a celebrity now.
A distracted
really.
librarian, if you
Apparently.
will. But here to represent the SOC.
Yeah.
Great.
He doesn't look distracted.
No.
We haven't grilled you yet.
Very true.
So we're,
this is Drew.
SOC, it's your time.
So we've got a couple of fun things being planned for the next couple of months. We've got the yearly graduation party. We have 3 graduates from the library who are finishing either high school or a university path.
Cool.
One in CERC, IT, and youth respectively. And then coming up after that, we are looking at doing a spirit week during casual month.
Fun.
Being a little bit
Yep.
more
I love it.
engaged with it, yeah. Those are a couple of things on our. Please do.
I
I will email you the plans personally.
I will be there with my pom-poms.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, those are some of the fun things we've got.
Any hints yet about what's going to happen in the holidays?
Tara.
We'll talk about that next
Okay,
month.
Yes.
all right, okay. I can grill you, okay.
Great, thank you so much. Thanks. Okay, and now we will move on to unfinished business. And this is the time where we have been reviewing our bylaws. And I think we have
the
come to
last
the
one.
final
Yeah.
article.
last one.
Very short.
Well, where?
It's way near the end.
It is 39.
Oh,
Page 39.
There we go, okay. Are you reading these?
Yeah, I can
Okay,
through
go
it.
ahead. This is
So-
Article 7.
Article 7, the last bylaw to review, this is on amendments. And it says that the bylaws may be amended at any regular meeting of the board by the affirmative vote of 4 members or a quorum, provided that the proposed amendment was stated in the call for the meeting. So in the agenda, we would have to say there's a proposed amendment. I think the way we handle this, unless there was some emergency or a need for it, is that we have that annual policy review and we kind of save up any amendments until that time and go through it systematically.
So if there was a change to our bylaws, who gets this besides the library? Does it go to Bloomfield Township? Does it go to Oakland County? Who gets any changes that we have?
We just keep it on file here and we
Okay.
post it publicly on our website.
Okay,
We could produce it to anybody who wanted it.
gotcha, all right.
Or could point them in the right direction.
Yeah, I just didn't know, because we get a nominal state funding, so I didn't know if they received the bylaws or anything. Okay.
No. We have to fill out a separate report for that, a very lengthy application.
Oh, every year? Oh my gosh, okay.
Catherine knows that. It's like full of statistics and all kinds of details about.
And when does that have to go in?
I think it's usually by the end of January, beginning of February is the deadline.
Okay,
Usually.
My goal is to finish it by the end of the year.
but we don't ask for money, we are giving a percentage of?
It's
State
referred
funds?
to as state aid, and so we have to fill out this state aid report with all of our statistics.
Okay.
And kind of, once you have filled that out, eligible libraries receive that money. If
It's
there
per capita.
are there more mechanisms
Oh,
than that?
gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's based on, okay, gotcha, the population.
They wanna make, there's 3 very basic requirements for libraries to receive state aid. They have to have, I think it's a certain amount of millages, which we exceed.
3/10.
3/10 of a mill. So many 2 degreed librarians, we have 24.
Okay.
What's
Fill out state aid.
fill out state aid? There used to be an hours of operation requirement, but during the recession, they took that away because so many libraries were cutting back on hours.
And then one more question about that, so when they say per capita, they don't mean use of the library, they just mean the
No,
population.
population served.
Oh, that's interesting, okay. Alright, thank you, I didn't mean to
That's okay.
go off track, but I just was curious where these went.
They go to our website. Okay.
Great, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for, Judy, thank you for having us go through that exercise.
Really
It
good
was-
idea.
I'm gonna
Yes,
think
do
of
it that way.
something to go through.
Yeah, I just think that it's important.
It is.
that we should,
It's
absolutely.
very good governance. Okay, next we're gonna move on to new business and we will talk about the summer reading program.
Yeah.
And we have Shayna here from the Adult and Teen Services and Lauren from Youth. And a big stuffed octopus.
Unnamed because this will belong to a child.
Ooh,
At some
okay.
point, so.
All
Fun.
the good stuff. Let me get my
I know
purse out of the way
it
for
says
you.
squishable.
Yes,
Important.
yeah, very important, and this is quite squishable, so I can pass around so everybody can experience squish.
You go to the child pre-hugged.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Break the binding to that book,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know, pick it up. It's kinda like that.
Loved.
Well loved, there you go.
Do you want me to move or are you okay standing?
Hi everyone.
Hey.
Hi.
Well, this is Shayna,
Hi, I'm
Don't-
Jada.
in Teen Services Librarian. This is Lauren, she's in Youth Services, Department Head, Assistant Department Head.
Yeah, don't get too excited.
Lauren's the Library Director.
Tonight.
Oh, here it is.
I like the t-shirt, adventure.
Yeah.
Thank you, this is our summer reading t-shirt.
Ooh, really?
Or
Yeah.
one of them, there's
One of
different
them,
yeah.
designs,
I
yeah.
like that.
Wow. Sneak peek.
They're from Etsy if you wanna join.
Oh,
We
interesting.
can share with
there's-
Okay.
Adventure.
Okay.
Take it away.
So yeah, here's how the theme this year is adventure begins at your library. Laura feels very strongly that it should be adventure awaits, but it is adventure that begins. The dates run from mid-June through August. And Lauren is going to tell us why summer reading is important. So summer reading is for all ages. I think we think about kids a lot, but it encourages everybody to use the library, and it especially encourages family time. We have magic shows and concerts, and we're going to have some live animals here, so it's just providing that third space for the community when school is out. Especially when these activities are no cost at the door, which can be kind of difficult to find. The activities draw people to the library, so you're here, you might as well get some books. And we provide access to books to kids who aren't getting it at school because school is closed for the summer. And then when you read and you're keeping track of your reading, you just feel a sense of accomplishment when on August 9th you've completed the summer reading challenge, no matter your age. So now that we know why it's important, how can patrons join the summer reading challenge? They can go through our website. This is going to be linked from the homepage. It's not right now, but it's btpl.org/summer. And it talks about the reading challenge. Registration begins June 18th. There's a little frequently asked questions about, I have an 8-month-old baby and they can't read. Can they sign up for it? Yes, absolutely. And then we have some featured programs and events for all ages, and then it's broken down to highlight some of the ones from youth, teen, and adult. We'll get into this a little bit later.
Are you saying that Sophia isn't reading yet?
She's doing everything else but
Okay.
I love the Seinfeld trivia contest.
And then, of course, and so much more, and to direct patrons to our full event calendar because we are doing so much more. So this button link at the top and lots of links through here send patrons to Beanstack. This is the desktop version that they can sign up for. Create an account. It's a quick 1, 2, 3. If you haven't heard about our 50 book challenge, that's really exciting right now. And another way that we're using Beanstack. So let me go back to it.
Well, those two commingle, like if you're reading a book and you're in
They
both
do, they count for
challenges.
both.
Concurrently. I love that.
So Beanstack there is the website, but there also is a mobile app. Here's a little highlight of the mobile app. So it's available from the App Store. This is what it looks like when you download it, and it says, let's go at the bottom. How will you participate in Beanstack at my library, school, or bookstore? Reading challenges, and at the bottom it says find a site, and then you search for our library. Bloomfield Township comes up, and then you can either log in or sign up. There's a little link right here to sign up, and then you can. This is our staff test version of it, since the regular ones aren't live yet. But it tells the patron a little bit about what the challenge is, and when the dates run, and they can join the challenge. And when they join the challenge, they get a badge for starting, and they also get, kids get a free book, and they get a lawn sign, so it tells them all about their little prizes that they get. How to log, there's a plus button at the bottom that they can log their reading. And so they can search for titles, and they come up with the pictures and the author and everything. And then you log your reading. It tells you what it's counting for, so reading will count for one challenge. So if they're involved in the 50 book challenge, it will tell them that it counts for both of them. For youth, they're logging by days, so they're logging reading for today, and then done, and that's all they have to do.
Is the app relatively new?
They already had the app when we signed up for it in 2020.
Oh, okay.
I am learning personally with us rolling out the 50 book challenge. Patrons really like the app.
The Beanstack app?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Beanstack app. They like it. It's usually their first go-to when we talk to them about how to sign up for Beanstack. They like
you.
Yeah, it's really
They've
easy.
updated it. I think it seems like it's a little more streamlined. I recognize you took screenshots, but still,
Yeah.
it seems really engaging.
Yeah, it's really easy to use. I think it's easier to use than the desktop. I've had people ask me, like, how do I log my reading? And it's a little button all the way at the top.
Yeah.
Where I think people are much more used to the designs of our mobile app these days. So I like it. Lawn signs and prize patrol. We had ordered lawn signs, I think, in 2021, and we've been using the same bulk group that we had ordered and the same design. So when patrons see that it's the same design, they say, oh, I still have my sign from last year, and they don't come to the library and pick one up. So we have done a redesign, and you may recognize our new card designs are going to be our lawn sign designs. And patrons can choose.
We have to choose again.
Choice.
Should we choose something different than our library calendar?
Gotta catch them all.
Yes. So all ages win a lawn sign from just registering for the summer reading challenge. And they can come and pick them up. And when they come to pick them up, we will ask them, would you like to sign up for the prize patrol? The prize patrol includes 2 staff driving around once a week, checking these addresses that we have on our list to see if they have their lawn sign. The lawn signs from previous years will count still.
My next question.
And we have some bags of exciting prizes for them, and you can see some past winners there at the bottom. Lots of fun smiling faces. Drew was just talking earlier about going up and offering these prizes to these patrons, and how exciting and fun it is.
That's great.
Sure.
Great.
So for adults and teens, they register and they win a lawn sign. Teens also get a free book at registration, and they can come to the adult services desk and browse and pick one out. I've tried to do a free book for adults. Adults are really picky. They can check one out. So adults and teens are logging books. They can earn up to 10 logging badges. They can earn up to 6 activity badges. The activity badges include interacting with the library in some way, and I really like to use them for cross promotion. One of the badges this year is going to be follow the library in some way. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, but also follow the podcast, or follow us on Vimeo for the read alouds that Emily does. So just go ahead and cross promote the library in ways that we can.
Great.
Each badge that they earn earns them a ticket to enter the grand prize drawings. There's 10 logging badges, 6 activity badges, 1 registration badge, and 1 completion badge, for a total of 18 chances to enter. They can complete the challenge by logging 5 books, and then earning 2 additional badges to win a tote bag. So this means they can either log 7 books, or they can log 5 books or 2 activity badges, or 6 books and 1 activity badge. The 7 badges is there's about 7 weeks for the summer reading program, so I figure a book a week is doable. It's a stretch, but it's doable. So this is the one the adults can win with the logo. And the one for the teens recently did a book cover design contest. And so we got the winners on the bag for the teens. So
Yeah, I like that bag.
the grand prizes are gift cards. They're not as flashy as our Squishmallow friend. But adults can win a $50 gift card to Starbucks, $100 gift card to Target, and a $150 gift card to Schuler Books.
Wow.
Teens are at half that amount.
Great.
So, for youth, we aren't logging books, we are logging the days you read, because, you know, a 2-year-old being read to is gonna get through books a lot faster than a 7th grader who's reading chapter books. So for every 5 days you read, you earn a logging badge on Beanstack, and you also get a gold coin, which is a BTPL buck. And with your first logging badge, you also get this nifty little pouch. And so at the end of the summer, you take all of your BTPL bucks and you go to our Adventure Readers Market in the story room, and you can buy stuff with it. So we'll have fidgets, books, slime containers that they can open at home.
Immediate
so, yeah. So like the teens, kids get a free book when they sign up for summer reading and the lawn sign. You can also complete activities. So we have a paper log. So for kids, they do have to do it on Beanstack, but a lot of parents find it easier to have like a piece of paper. So the administration department and I designed this, so you can keep track of your reading here and then go back in Beanstack and log it. And then since our theme is adventure, we have a little map here for all the activities. So you can color the little X in when you complete an activity, like Library Explorer, participate in a monthly scavenger hunt in the library and beyond, or attend a library program. So we try to do the same thing where the activities promote the library as well. And then when you do logging badges and the activities, you also get grand prize tickets. So one of the prizes you could get is this octopus squishable. So these are a big hit. Another grand prize we have is a Detroit Zoo membership for the family. A like bucket of Lego bricks and a book to go with it. So they get to choose which grand prize drawings they want and enter their tickets in. And then at the end of the summer, we draw them and we get to administer the prizes, which is a lot of fun. Who wouldn't want to give a child that octopus?
And who
Oh,
knows,
thank
the
you.
octopus may come back for the stuffy sleepover.
Yeah, that's
There
true.
you go.
Yeah.
Another promotion.
That's
Yes.
Cross promotion.
So there are some pictures of some of the prizes that that we're offering in the readers market, and then the surprise Squishmallow box for the grand prizes as well.
This is so great.
In your folder, I handed you out earlier.
Yeah.
So we have this kind of like summer reading brochure that really focuses on the programs in addition to the regular newsletter. So we have some joint events that adult and teen services and youth services are working on together, including the summer reading kickoff. So you gotta start the fun with a big party. On Tuesday, June 18th, we're going to have activities around the library, a sign-up table for summer reading, as well as food trucks in the parking lot for folks to enjoy.
This has been such a hit that I know that we are talking to the Bloomfield Township Police, and that we have talked to the church across the street about shuttling patrons if we need an overflow parking.
Yeah. It's the night of our next
Board
board
meeting,
meeting also,
yeah.
so we'll be here for
So
that.
come
We were
come a little early.
Yeah.
They have to be
Come
shuttled.
early and come hungry.
We're working with the senior center on the shuttle.
Also, the Adult and Teen Services and Youth Services Department are collaborating on the summer puzzle tournament. So this will be the third puzzle tournament that the library has done. Basically, folks sign up in teams of 2 to 4, and then they kind of race to see who finishes the puzzle in their category the fastest. We'll have tiny art kits available for all ages. So you may remember this from, I think, the Winter Reading Challenge like a year ago, not this past one. But you just get a little tiny canvas and you can paint whatever design you want on it and you turn it in by the end of July and we'll display it in September in the Tiny Art Showcase.
It's very cute and very popular.
And then in youth, we have some programs for all ages. So I just wanted to highlight a few for kind of like each age group. So we've got Jim Gill coming. He's a longtime children's musician. He is nationally known. We're having Wildlife Safari, which is the live animals come by. I'm really excited for that one. Indiana Joel's Magic Show for all ages. It's kind of like a play on Indiana Jones in case you didn't notice the fun.
You missed that.
Yeah. But even though it's summer, we still want to, have fun with our babies and our preschool kids. So we're doing outdoor story times every week. We're doing Splash Bash, which is just kind of putting out a bunch of like water activities on the youth terrace. And then sensory adventure for that age as well. And then for kids and tweens, we have Construction Club Build or Bust, which is kind of like an enhanced version of our monthly Brick Builders Lego Club, which is really popular. We're doing Library Olympics and an Under the Sea escape room.
But wait, there's more.
Adults and teens, to go along with the scavenger hunt theme, we have all ages scavenger hunts. There's going to be one for June, July, and August. And then there's an additional teen scavenger hunt just for teens that runs through the summer reading program. Teens are doing another duck hunt. We're doing the Golden Girls versus Seinfeld Trivia Night with mocktails. And we're bringing back the very loved Speed Dating with a Book. If you haven't done that, it's a lot of fun. Craft kits continue to be extremely popular. We have a couple of teen specific ones, and then we have ones for adults and teens. The last chance adventure kits are on the finale day, and it's basically our clean out the closet thing. So we go downstairs in our storage and we see what we can put together, and everybody loves to go through and pick out what they can do. In addition to some of these things we have featured here, personally, I'm adding another session to the Fiber Arts Club. So we're gonna do a second one on the third Tuesday of each month. I am doing a house plant and seed swap. Yes, I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna get some plants to have on hand so nobody walks away empty-handed. A little after summer reading ends is that we're doing Golden Walsh garden tours again. They're always sold out. Everybody loves those. I also wanted to take a moment to highlight we have lots of our regular programs that will continue as well, and our IT programs have really gotten way more attention. Lately, they are doing a Chat GPT one that was sold out immediately. People just keep coming back and asking, are you doing more? Are you doing more? Do you have any flyers for that? So everybody's really into that one. And there's also a Don't Get Scammed one that they're doing. So we're doing some exciting regular things in addition to these ones specifically for the summer reading program. And then of course, you have to come back and do the pirate party for all ages in your finest pirate attire for a costume contest.
Yes. Somebody tell Keith.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And then we're doing all these great things. What are we doing to promote it, to get people in the door and see what we're doing? First is we do this every year, and so people know and they come back. A lot of the time they know that we do kids things for the program, and then we also, hook them in with the food trucks and say, come on over to the adult services. We have cool things too. We feature the summer reading on our webpage. We also have the website, the btpl.org/summer. Admin puts out press releases. We do lots of things inside the library. The lobby display case and the local history display case. There is a new theater display in the local history display case, and it is gorgeous. So if you get a second to walk over there, it looks really nice. But there will be a summer reading one in June. The posters and flyers throughout the library. Circulation puts bookmarks in all of the holds. And we post on social media. We use a special hashtag every summer, #BTPL summer. The lawn signs work as summer reading promotion. People see them in the community. They come in and they go, how do I get a lawn sign? Well, you sign up for summer reading. The 50 book challenge, like I said, is cross promotion. People who are doing that now see the summer reading program. We send out an email blast to everyone for a special email newsletter to everyone about the summer reading program. Our email newsletters get an excellent open rate. They're 50, my last one was 70% open rate. So really,
Wow. That's unusual.
And then we interact with the schools. In terms of the high schoolers, we send flyers to VHS, and then
So youth services and sometimes adult and teen services visit local schools. So that's why I have this on today. I was at Way Elementary with Jen Taggart talking to kindergarten students about summer reading. They were very cute. So we go and we promote some programs and we tell them about books that we've read recently that have come out in about the past year that we really like. It's always nice when they seem excited about a book that you bring. So that was a lot of fun. So over the course of 11 days, Youth Services is promoting the summer reading program to almost 1,800 students in grades K to 8 And Adult and Teen Services is joining us on the 7th and 8th grade visits. So we'll be doing 34 school visits total, spread out over basically the course of like 2 weeks.
Wow.
They're busy.
Are there posters in the lobby about this yet? Not yet.
I don't think yet,
No.
but there will be.
I'm just thinking about people coming in for the art.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Well, when we go to the school visits, we give them one of the brochures that you have, and then they also get a list of great summer reads for insert grade here. So they're coming away from our visits with all the info they need about summer and some book suggestions. And we don't just go to Bloomfield Hills schools. I will be going to Detroit Country Day next week. So, and I think we're also we might be visiting St. Regis. So we try to get as many kids in the area as possible.
So I'm assuming we buy multiple copies of some of these that you're recommending?
Yes. Yeah, with the regular book budget, we usually get an additional 1 or 2 copies depending on how popular the book might be. The book lists that we give out have, I think, at least like 50 books or around 50 books on them. So there's a lot to choose from, and we don't need to buy, a whole bunch of copies, because if something's checked out that a student wants, they can just choose another book from the list.
We didn't go with this image from the summer reading. We get artwork from CSLP for the summer. If you notice their books that they're reading, the ghost is reading a book about the little boy. So this one was my favorite. But does anyone have any other questions?
It's really impressive.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
just
good
excited.
job.
I love all the
Your son participates.
everything. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He loves this. But I also see the adventure duck hunt on here, and I am remembering last summer hearing the ducks.
Yes.
That's
Very
funny.
funny.
Yeah, it's great.
We had such interest in the ducks that we specifically had to say that the prizes are just for teenagers, because the tweens especially were super into the ducks, and so they really wanted to be involved.
I think the
funny.
adults were.
Yeah.
Adults
The staff did a duck hunt too for the
Yeah, it's
Staff
development.
Day.
Yeah.
I have the summer reading statistics going back to 2001 or 1995 or something. I had going back a really long time, and we are really picking back up again, and it's definitely getting back to pre-COVID numbers,
Great.
and it's really exciting to see that.
That's great.
Anything else for Shannon and
I
Laura?
think you dotted your I's and crossed your T's for
Yeah,
sure.
it's gonna be
sharing
a
this with
great
us.
summer.
Yes.
It really
Yes.
is. Thank you so much.
Adventure begins.
Yes.
Good job.
Oh, wait.
Thank you both. Thank you both so much.
Yes, really.
Thanks for having us.
It's gonna be great.
Don't forget your friend.
Yeah.
Oh, you're Mr.
Aw.
Squishy.
Say goodbye.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Well, we maybe should have done this in a different order, because
Yeah.
that was like so much fun,
Exciting.
and now it's like, oh,
Uh-uh.
let's talk about the compensation.
Well, this is
Well, we
very
gotta pay these
exciting.
people.
Yeah, this is very exciting. It is exciting because it is, again, just like we were talking about with the changes to Dewey, this is bringing us into today and making sure that we have all of the information that we need to be able to make important decisions and changes and operate to our best ability. So on page 41 is the memo, but I will turn it over to Tara to talk a little bit about this.
Great, thank you. Well, yeah, like we have said many times before, there's just been a lot of changes in the workplace and library work specifically. And we want to make sure we're attracting the best and brightest we can to the library and compensating the folks who do all of this work in the best way we possibly can, so we can keep them here. And so I was part of the compensation classification study in 2017, and I just remember it was such a useful exercise to go through, and I just feel like it's time once again to
It
go
was
through this.
surprising, I think, more than anything, that's what I remember.
Yeah, there were some surprises.
So 2017 and it's
Yeah.
been 7 years.
And the pandemic.
And I feel like the
And
pandemic like
good
puts a
point.
5 years in there, like
Yeah.
things are so different. So to describe this RFP process and talk about the company that we selected, I'm gonna turn it over to Catherine. As Assistant Director, she's in charge of RFPs.
This is way less exciting than the summer reading
It's
challenge.
as exciting.
Thank you. I don't have any cool
You could
graphics
do
to
it
go
in
with
like
it
an
though.
interpretive dance.
Bright pink and yes,
So-
yes.
All right, so as Tara mentioned, about 2 months ago, March 26th, we put out the RFP for compensation and classification study consulting services, or comp and class study. We received 4 responses, 4 proposals to that RFP. Those were from Evergreen Solutions, Gallagher Benefit Services, Management Advisory Group International, and MGT of America, which recently took on a company called GovHR. So in their proposal and in my in the memo in here, it kind of just says MGT/GovHR because they're still using both names. What we were really looking for, Tara, Lyndon, and I reviewed these on our own individually, filling out this long analysis form that is included in your packet, and then we got together and talked about them all. And we really were placing a high value on public library experience. All 4 firms have excellent experience performing comp and class studies for a wide variety of organizations. But what we're really looking for is specialized around public libraries. We want to know that they understand public libraries, how they work, and have had a lot of public library experience with which to compare us, and to use one of Keith's favorite words, to benchmark us too. And so we can really see if what we're doing is the best practice in public libraries. So of the 4 firms, the one that really stood out above the others was GovHR. That is the same firm that we used back in 2017. And in fact, the project manager would be the same person
Oh, that's
who
interesting.
conducted our study then. They would also have a person on the consulting team who is a former public library director, which we thought would bring a lot of valuable experience to this. So they had excellent references from libraries and municipalities that they listed for us. And they have worked with over 30 library departments, which was the most listed of any of the 4 respondents to this proposal. Their cost proposal was also the lowest, which we thought was a pretty great thing. That wasn't the primary thing that we looked at, but it, of course, is a really important consideration.
Yeah, but by a lot.
I know.
By a lot. That number does not include any in-person visits. Those would be additional, and so that price would allow us to add those optional in-person visits when we deem it necessary, as well as other optional services. Whereas the other proposals that came in a lot higher wouldn't leave us any wiggle room to add anything else during the study if we decided something else was needed. For example, if a new position were to be added, writing a new job description or rewriting existing job descriptions, that was additional across all of these proposals. And so the ones that come in at a higher price range didn't leave us the room in the budget to perform those extra services.
So this really is comparing apples to apples in terms of services,
I think so, yeah.
as close as.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they based?
Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Florida, okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
I wanted to add one other point and now it just left my brain.
In Michigan.
No, there weren't any. I think that the folks we worked with when the last time were in Illinois, so not too far away.
Yeah.
All the companies did have a similar timeline, about 4 to 5 months to complete the project. GovHR says they'd be available to start within 4 to 6 weeks of accepting the proposal, so that keeps us on our preferred timeline, which is to have this, the study completed by the end of the year so that any changes could be included in the budget for the next fiscal year.
By the end of the fiscal year?
By the end of the calendar year.
Okay.
So when Tara and Monica begin working on the next budget in earnest in December, January, we'll have those figures available.
And they'll provide support for an additional year.
Yes, at no additional cost, which is great.
Which is really great, because one of the things that I'm really wanting to get out of this is the maintenance of these ranges that we get and how to administer them over time and how to be able to keep using them when things do change.
Sure. And I was not here in 2017, but as Tara mentioned, she was here and found that this company was really wonderful to work with.
So, any questions for me or Catherine or about this
Thanks,
process?
Catherine.
And Lyndon also helped us. She was part of the HR committee, which was one of the committees that was developed during our strategic planning process. And I know they were the group, a lot of the things that that group talked about could get kind of lumped into this process. So we're all anticipating this process.
So let me just ask, should we come to a point where we want to add additional services or have them come out here and it increases the cost? Will we address that at the time, or how will we manage that?
That's a good question.
Did you budget it enough for?
I budgeted $40,000 in the CIP.
Okay.
So there's definitely a little bit of wiggle room
Yeah.
there.
Because at 13, I mean, you can get a plane from Florida for a couple $100s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, is that how you would like to do it? Is that as we get into the process, if more expenditures need to be made, I could bring it to the personnel committee.
Yeah, I don't know that it's something that we would be voting on, so I don't know that you would need a
Right.
quorum.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
definitely keep you updated.
Yes, and I think that as the process goes on, you'll keep us updated, so.
Yes. And the action isn't for a certain amount of
Correct.
money,
Right.
so
It's just using this particular.
Right.
vendor, yeah.
We would anticipate a lot would be done over Zoom.
Yeah, yeah. Which even when we did this in 2017, we did a lot via conference calls.
We did.
I think they may have come once or twice for on-site visits.
I know it was once, but I don't remember if it was twice.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. If nobody else has any other questions, we do have a motion on page 42. If anybody has that pulled up, would you like to read that?
I do.
Great.
I move to award the bid for compensation and classification study for Bloomfield Township Public Library to MGT of America Consulting LLC, GovHR, 4320 West Kennedy Boulevard, Tampa, Florida, 33609.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Good work.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Very good work.
Yeah.
This is
You
something
made a
we've been
good
wanting to
decision.
do, and so it's great to get that moving, get the
Yes.
ball rolling.
Very excited.
Okay, next on page 50, Tara is going to discuss for us the proposal for a human resources information system.
Yes, thank you. Our HR systems and processes are very manual at this library, and because we do not have a city or other HR department, we all do that work in between all of our other work, like running desks, planning board meetings, doing schedules. I didn't really even know that there was such a thing until very recently of an HR information system. I heard about it at a director's meeting. And since that time, Lyndon and I have talked a lot about it, and in fact, Lyndon made it her goal this year to do some research on HR systems. And at the same time, Elizabeth Parrott, who's the HR specialist at the township, approached me and asked if we used an applicant tracking system. I was like, no, but I would love to. So we started talking about joining together on this endeavor and getting something that we could, number one, share the cost with, but number two, because the township does our payroll and does our benefits administration, anytime we get a new employee, we have to send over all the, pertinent, very sensitive information to the township on that person. And many times, the team that does that, we have wished that there was a secure portal that we could send that information electronically, because we just take pieces of paper up to the township. I wanna say it's like a horse and buggy, sort of what it feels like.
It did sort of raise my eyebrows a bit, in looking at it, but I completely understand if you don't have, if you're not large enough, that's really not the right word, because we're large enough to have an HR system.
Yeah, we just, I think it's kind of inertia, just like the doing.
I agree.
It's just how we've done it. So, Elizabeth, when we started talking, she had already vetted a handful of companies, 3 or 4 different companies, and Bamboo was one of the ones she had been looking at, and that was the firm that I had heard of at this director's meeting that I went to. And so Lyndon attended a couple of demos with Elizabeth. I attended a demo. We've been talking to the salesperson, and we've all vetted this Bamboo HR. It has risen to the top for a variety of reasons. It's got a lot of features, and it's very customizable. And we keep saying, but we're the library and the township, we're separate, but we're together. And they kept saying, like, look, we work with international companies that have locations in different countries. We can handle this.
We're on the other side of So there are many layers of access. So like Lyndon can have a layer, I can have a layer, Monica has a layer, but then all the hiring managers, all the department heads and assistant department heads, and this is a whole other section of this that we are just so looking forward to. There's so many people involved, so much communication has to happen. We have paper checklists and other ways of making sure stuff happens, but it just, many phone calls, many IMs, many visits to offices. This will just streamline everything, speed it up. It will give people access
And track.
And tracking it. It will reduce mistakes.
Not
It will improve
redundancy,
consistency. There's so many things that this is gonna.
What
do for
safeguard
us.
measures do they have? The news has now been filled with all the things that are going on, so it's worrisome. So if you go into this and type something, does Lyndon then have the opportunity, if you give her the opportunity to read what you've written, maybe it's you had an issue or something, or how is the privacy and how is the safeguard on that?
Well, it's built for HR, so
Okay.
each person would have their own login.
Okay.
And then there are different levels of permissions. So like we can give an employee permission to sign in. They would be able to update their own contact information and emergency information, which we
Gotcha.
ask them for every year. But then Lyndon would have access to everything because
Okay.
she is the HR
Administrator.
Right.
administrator.
Okay.
I would have access to everything because I'm the HR administrator. The department heads would have a different level of access, where they would have access to their own department's employees, but then they would also have access to the applicant tracking system.
Gotcha.
So there would be different logins.
Okay, good.
Not unlike circulation. So there are rules
Right.
and permissions given to certain roles so that personal information is
Sure.
shared and seen.
Mhm.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's probably any way to safeguard everything
Right,
from
right.
everything for all the, banking that we all do
Sure.
and everything else, but I imagine that it's probably got ISO certifications and whatnot to
Yeah.
safeguard.
I just thought of something else I was going to say. When you were talking about roles and circulation.
Well, I'll just mention that you do have it in your memo here that one of the strategic plan goals is to update,
Right.
Procedures,
the processes and using the lenses of updating for efficiency, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so, this is something that we've wanted to do, and it's almost like this,
Seems really fortuitous,
and it's
doesn't
just,
it?
just kind of come to us, right, with the partnership with.
Reduce time on HR functions. Which
I
is
know.
I sort of feel like,
time
so,
wasted.
yeah, exactly. So let's talk a little bit about the cost. It will cost, we get a cost savings because we're lumping in with the township, so it's about almost 400 employees total. We make up about a third of those employees, 25% I think is what it is. So we would pay our share, and our share would be about $7,000 a year. The township is using ARPA funding this year because this provides continuity of service, which is another benefit of it, if the township were to have to shut down again. And so we are just making up the difference. We have not been eligible as an entity for ARPA funding just because of the way entities are defined. So we're gonna pay about $3,800 this year, and then we would build it into the CIP for subsequent years.
At 7.
At 7. And I feel like we're getting the equivalent of a part-time person
Mhm.
for
Oh,
$7,000.
yeah.
100%, I think
Yeah.
that's so reasonable.
Yeah, I do too.
Absolutely.
Good. I did run it across our labor attorney today, chatted with him about it, and he thinks these are great. He just cautioned that, like any IT related thing, it's only as good as what you put into it. So you've got to spend some time up front setting up the access levels, make sure all of our procedures and policies transfer over. He recommended doing some audits along the way to make sure you're getting what you think you're getting. He gave me some good advice, but he said, yeah, they're great.
Do they provide any level of training?
They do, yeah. There is a project manager that would help us on board, and it happens over 4 weeks.
Oh,
So
good,
it's quite
okay.
extensive, yeah.
But I imagine, just like you said, the onus still comes down to us and
Sure.
inputting the information.
And then one other question, if Jane Doe applies in 2011, let's say we had it then, and then she applies again, she didn't get that job, is that still in the network, so her name and all of her information, does it have a
That's actually a feature of the software, is that
Okay.
it will track applicants and even some of the information that the hiring managers
oh,
make
good,
note of.
okay,
So it gives a history,
oh, perfect,
which is very difficult to access
Yeah,
with
it
our
is,
current
yeah.
methods.
that's great, okay, good, I didn't know if they had an expiration point where they're like, okay, it's been 5 years now, we clear it, so,
I'm guessing we could set that up.
Yeah.
That setting.
yeah, interesting, okay. Cause I know we had so many applicants for, what did
The
we have?
library assistant, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Also, I can't remember if I said this already, but we would have an online way for people to apply for a job.
right,
Right now, it's a downloadable PDF that they have to fill in, and then they email, and
Gotcha.
Linda has to check.
this is perfect,
Yeah.
Which is a reflection of the library.
Yeah.
Really, when you think about it, so that makes sense.
that's great.
And the fact that it can be all done electronically is what an applicant would expect.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
And has Paul looked at this? Okay.
Yep, Paul's looked at it. Yeah, we've looked at the, the security measures that they have in place, yeah.
Good. And does it mesh in
It's
any
web-based,
way?
it's all web-based.
All web-based,
It's all
so-
web-based, so it's
yeah.
not hosted
Right.
on-prem, it's all web-based, yeah.
Good.
And the township IT people have looked at it too.
So when would this start?
That's a great question. I think the funds are gonna be released this week to get us going, and then it'll probably just be up to when we can get it on our schedules, but I'm hoping within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, good. Right as close.
But yeah, I don't think that I need a vote, I just wanted to get your consensus and your support and talk it out and answer any questions you have.
I'd vote for it anyway.
Full support.
Makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Great, thank you so much, appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, now we will discuss the items that were removed from the consent agenda, and the first item, Joan, you said 7A.
On page 14, okay, Velocity EHS, subscription to chemical safety information.
Yeah, as an employer, we are required to disclose any chemicals on premises and how you handle a spill or, you know, what they do. We call it material safety data sheets. And we've always had a paper binder. This is was a Hugo idea to update our binders, and there's also an online version that we can access and then download the information that way rather than getting these pieces of paper and putting them in the binder.
Okay, what chemicals are
Cleaning
on?
chemicals,
Cleaning.
toner,
Even whiteout is
on,
technically a chemical.
whiteout.
Oh.
Anything outside, I'm assuming too, if you had ants or.
Okay, okay.
Or anything that they're doing.
Sure.
You
On
just
the roof,
don't
sure.
think about
Mhm.
chemicals on site. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then, Joan, did you wanna bring up the memo regarding the endowment funds? That's on page 32.
Well, okay, is this something new
No,
that did Monica put together? I'm sorry, my eyes are watering.
it's okay. No, this is not new. We review this every year, though, maybe it's usually part of the annual report, but
It is.
I thought we put it in this board packet.
It was unfamiliar to me, but I just thought maybe, I remember talking about it, but I didn't remember it in this format.
Yeah, we've never had it this way, it's very nice.
It's
Okay.
an accounting of the 6 endowment funds that we have with
Yeah.
the Community Foundation of Southeast Michigan. And it's just, we get a statement from them, and then Monica reconciles that statement with the previous year, and it makes a note of the payout as well.
And on some of those, okay, I'm not sure what we used the money for.
So, I always like to go to, well, the Meyer Scholarship is the most
We know,
obvious,
yeah.
yeah. But like the Fair Radom Garden Endowment Fund, that is set up for garden programming, and youth and adults split that. So we usually take that payout and then they use it for garden programming.
So for example, Shanna was saying that at the end of
Seeds.
summer,
Mm-hmm.
well, yeah, maybe,
Yeah,
I didn't
maybe
think
she'd
about
use it
that.
for the seed packets or whatever, she said she
Like
wanted
a
everybody
seed
to
swap
leave.
and plants and that kind of
Yes.
thing, so that might be
Maybe,
an
yeah.
example, but if she said they would do a garden tour,
Mm-hmm.
it,
That,
is that
yes.
the kind of thing? Okay.
Exactly, the sensory garden that the youth department
Yes.
has, they use it for, I think
Okay.
we're going to get a sign for that, yeah.
Okay, and then like the Atkinson, Yvonne Atkinson.
Yeah, the purpose of that fund is to support book discussions, so we usually take that one as well and then divide it between youth services and adult and teen, and they use it to buy book club kits or other things they might need for book clubs.
So this is just a reporting of what distributions were taken and what were not or otherwise reinvested.
You got it, yep.
Great. Are there any other questions or discussion about that? No? Okay, well, that was all that we formally removed from the consent agenda. Is there anything that anybody else wants to discuss about the consent agenda? Okay, well then can I have a motion to approve the items removed?
So moved.
I know, I stopped the start.
And a second?
I will second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, well, we are at the part of our meeting where we talk about other. And I just wanted to mention, I forgot to mention that as I came in here this evening, I took a spin around the art projects.
The jewelry.
Gorgeous.
God.
Yeah.
Right?
Beautiful.
A lot of it,
The
was,
talent in
yes.
that room
I'm-
is
So I
incredible.
want to
Three-dimensional
take this
pieces.
moment to just applaud the
Yay.
the students of the
Mhm.
Bloomfield Hills schools and the partnership that the library has
Sure.
with the schools. It's really nice and further exemplifies the great community that we have here. I also wanted to mention, because I know that it was in our packet somewhere, but I wanted to say out loud that Paul Zink was awarded the
Yes, that was
Carol
very
Mueller
nice.
Leadership Award.
Yes,
Well
congrats.
deserved.
And so yes, he's not here, but virtual fist bumps to Paul. And does anybody else have any other?
I do, but you want your friends report, yes?
Yes, a couple things. First, I wanted to commend the library and the circulation numbers.
Yeah.
They are looking
Yeah.
really spiffy, increasing all pretty much all across the board, in all
yes.
material types and ages. And so it takes a lot to come back after a pandemic. And so just noticing that, I thought it was terrific.
Thank you.
I also noticed in some of the press releases that another library was talking about their friends and their sale. It looked like they had maybe twice a year or
Yes.
quarterly or something like that. And the amount that they had donated to the back to the library. And I wanted to commend the Friends by saying that at last meeting, I believe, they noted, and thank you for reminding me, $105,000 was put back into this library from the Friends. Incredible.
It's a lot of $2 books.
A lot of $2 books and volunteers and I just am continually amazed at the energy and the excitement
And the dedication.
the dedication and the accounting and they're very specific about how they keep watch over their money. They're very good stewards of their money and they don't take anything for granted. And I think it's a pleasure to be a part of the group. That's all I need to say.
Thank you.
I do have another, and I have a concern. I looked at the stakes for the pool, and there are 3 redwood trees, and the stakes are very, very close to 2 of them. And the problem is that when they start digging, you can only take a certain percentage of the roots, damaging the roots without the tree being undermined and or dying. So I don't know how they can get away from that because the redwood trees are, because they're so massive, their roots go down just pretty good. So you don't have them going out this way looking for a water source. But also, I'm so fearful that when, because the people who are working in that area, they don't care about plants. And so I think those we need to mark them, maybe putting red fencing around them or something. And if those could just be moved even like 2 feet out more. And I don't know how they can do that, but I stopped today and I took a look. And they're just way too close to those trees.
I'm worried about that big maple. That one's.
They're all of the trees are, unless they're super careful, they're going to be taken. I think you can only take a third without severe damage, and even that might shock them anyway. But you're looking at something that's going to do like half the root system, and so I'm just afraid of that. So that's worrisome to me. And I know that they looked at it and probably figured out the best way. But when he was talking about it, it sounded like it was going to be more towards Lone Pine, and it seems to have encroached this way. So, and I don't know how much room.
How do they decide what the space? Because it's irregular
Right.
too.
Because the 3 or 4 trees that are near Lone Pine, you can see that they're suffering because they have too much water. And so those can be replaced because they're still small enough that the root ball. But these are massive trees. And so when we were meeting with Jim, maybe it was just the 3 of us thought that this would have gone more that way, which would have promoted, those trees can be replaced, not replaced, but they can be moved and hopefully saved. But when I saw it, I was like,
I know, that's why I wanted him to do this, so we could see
my heart
exactly
just
what,
fluttered, and I'm very worried about those trees because they're so mature and they're so different, as we know, with Jim telling us how stately they are and what they are. And I always think about Isabel with the redwood trees, because she took one of the seeds, and at our old house there's a huge redwood tree. I mean, it's massive. So
we'll talk to Joe more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Because I'm concerned about those two.
That one. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. That was my other.
Okay, well, I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah.
It's important. And stuff that, we don't know.
Right.
I have a question for Catherine.
Sure.
What's the Perini team?
Perini is the name of the interior design firm that is working on the proposal for reimagining our spaces.
Okay, because I had Yellowstone on the
Yes.
brain, so Perini,
So-
I didn't remember Perini.
I apologize, I don't know if we
That's
ever
all right.
pointed that out
I
specifically.
thought that we did, but maybe we didn't.
Well, maybe I
What was the woman's name?
forgot.
Well,
Jenna.
Jenna Walker
Yeah.
is the person that we met, and she was with a firm called Yellowstone. And in the meantime, between when we last did the pre-design research report, she changed firms.
Oh,
So she's been recruited by Perini, which is
okay,
it's
okay.
a little
Well,
bit
you may have
smaller
told
firm.
me, but,
But we're following her.
We're following her.
okay,
Yes.
It's a small, women-owned, Detroit-based interior design firm.
okay, all right. Well, that name
Alright, dig
just,
it.
I'm like, what's a Perini?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Is there any other?
Thank you all for your careful review of everything. Paying attention.
Well, our next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, June 18th. Our meeting will start at 7 o'clock, but the food truck will be at 5:30. And so with that, we can go ahead and adjourn our meeting. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank
It was a
you.
great
Thank you.
meeting.
Yeah.